Well, how many days till Christmas? Why are these mouse guts? I just cleaned up a dead mouse. Did they get on my glasses somehow? Tastes like mouse. Sorry, mouseykins. So, this is the house in which I grew up. And 65 years of Christmases 64 have happened here. The house was brand new when I was born, so no Christmases happened here before then. And this will be the last one. And eventually we'll sell the house and do other things. But my brother and I are brothers and I, but mainly my eldest of the two younger brothers and I are working on decorating the house. So we've got the dining room put in the larger half of this part of the house. The dining room used to be shoved in this little nook in between this big heavy piece of furniture and that big heavy piece of furniture. And last year, 2 years ago, after my father died, I wish we had done it while he was still alive, but we moved it. I wish we had moved it 65 years ago. It was very difficult having the 3 dinners a year in that little tiny dining room, wedged as we were at that table. The people at either end, my mother and father, were fine, but the people on the sides, their big heavy legs to that table, and when you have 3 people, which we always did, we invited friends of my parents' mother and her son to all of our events, so that we had 6 or 7 at the table at each event, and the people on the sides had to sit side saddle on their chair or whatever, and it was just very difficult to sit at that table and be comfortable. So when my father died, I suggested, it was sometimes difficult getting things changed because of the tradition. Like, we can't possibly move the dining room into the other part of the living room. We can't do that because yes, we did it, and it works really great. Anyone can get up off of the table and walk around. They can sit comfortably. They can push their chairs back and sort of lean back in their chair, which you couldn't do before. You were sort of wedged. It was like being on an airplane in between 2 oversized people. That's sort of what it was like. And the chair in front of you reclined completely, with the chair behind you breathing down your neck. I don't know. It was very claustrophobic and uncomfortable. So now, 2 years ago, I moved the table in the other room, set it at a diagonal. We extended the leaves on the table, and got 9 people around it, and we had room to invite you. You could have been invited, or you, not you, never, but you know, you folks could have come. We would have had room for you as well. So this year as our last Christmas, we're sort of pulling out a lot of the stops. We're putting up some art that we took down. We when my father died, we took down some art that we always had on the walls, and we put art of his up. And for the little celebration we had here after the service, and so we sort of mixed things around, and my brother wanted it to go back the way it was. So we've been doing that a little bit. It can't go quite back the way it was because we've sold some furniture and we've taken down a lot of stuff to get the house ready to show to the public when it comes time to sell it. So a lot of furniture is gone. A lot of bric-a-brac has gone, especially the brick, some brack, but a lot of stuff is gone. So it's kind of strange. We also lost a very funny looking weeping willow tree right outside the window here. It came crashing down in a tornado or heavy wind, not a tornado, heavy wind storm. Sometime in the early fall. And it was, I did take some lovely photographs of it before that happened when I was here in the summer, and I'm hoping to do something artistic with the images that I took. And so it's just because of that tree going down and because of us selling some of the things and because we've moved a lot of the pieces of furniture and lamps and things like that that were part of our childhood, we moved those up to a different vacation cabin that we have, and we're sort of keeping this house alive up there. So saying goodbye to this house will be a little easier, maybe, for me. I think my brothers, because they've lived in Minnesota and been at this house a lot, and my elder of the 2 younger brothers lived here essentially for the past decade, they've sort of had the ability to appreciate it more than I have, and they're kind of ready to say goodbye to it, if not good riddance to it. But I'm having the hardest time, I think, saying goodbye to it. But what I'm doing is I'm doing a lot of drawings. I've been doing this for a few years now, doing drawings of the house and being able to sort of write my love letter to it by doing drawings. So there's one book I have that is a white vellum bound book from 1890 maybe, of English manor house interiors, and there are blank pages in between each plate of English interiors, and I thought I would do pen and ink renderings or ink wash renderings of the house on that during the next week that I'm here. Just picking a little vignette and doing, just by drawing it, I'm sort of committing it into my little memory. Taking a picture, click, 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 is one way to do it. But another way to do it is to draw it. And by drawing it, the lamp is half as tall as the wall. Well, by doing that computation in your head, there's a brain cell that now knows that. And if you just click a picture and with your camera and look at it, you may not ever make that computation. So by drawing things, it really helps you remember. So I'm going to be doing that with paper and on this iPad. It's interesting saying goodbye to a house. Hey, reconstruct it with my mind. Russell, would you like to join me? Face to face? That is so sweet, and I'm going to start to cry. Every once in a while, I'm reminded that I have a heart, and you just reminded me. I'm generally very cold and aloof. But sometimes I have a heart. Copy to clipboard. And you reminded me of it, Russell Basemeyer. I still have pieces of mouse guts all over my eyeglasses. Our one-eared kitty is very good at catching the rodents that live in the... God damn it. Must be lots of crusty bits here. Add to stream. Since I've added people to streams. Hello, Russell.
Hello.
I see you on the little thumbnail, and I hear you, but I don't see you on the big screen. So why is that? There you are.
That's strange. I'm right here. Okay, good. Oh.
So
you're...
I drawing them embeds them in my heart. Is that what it does?
Yeah. The way I like to think about it is, we all sort of have these... What am I trying to say? We all have like little tiny cities within our heads, right?
Yeah.
And they start out sort of like as blank spaces, but as we encounter the world, they expand and become filled with things. So it's like drawing allows you to to sort of add like the junkers and tubes of things into that little space, right? And they become part of you.
Okay.
It's highly sentimental and not at all useful, but
I see. Well, I guess I can see some of what you're saying. There's some people who I think when they see things with their eyes and they do any amount of thinking about what they're looking at. If they're a writer or a poet, they might look at a scene of a house or a city or whatever it is, and by committing words to the thing they're looking at, that it enters their brain or their heart that way.
Right.
Drawing, because you're selective in you, it's a temporal thing. You start drawing part of what you see in a particular order, whatever that order is. For me, at this house specifically, it's quite often the morning light and the shadows that are cast by the furniture that I'm drawing. I'm not drawing the furniture. It's this warm light that comes in, and that's the thing I'm going to miss the most of this house, is that the morning light. And at the cabin, we have a western view, so we get to see the lovely sunsets that happen up there. And because it's a lake, we see lots of cloud, and we have a 180 degree view, essentially, of sky, essentially, and water, of course, but mainly sky. And I love having that sunset view, but the morning view here is just so quiet and magical that that's what I'll miss the most. So you are looking good today, as you always do. So that thing I sent you with the creepy elves on the shelf, elves on the
Yes.
shelves, I didn't realize that, because I live in a hole in the ground. I didn't even realize that elves on a shelf were a thing.
Yeah, they are a thing. I don't know why, but
Well,
people put
it
them
was
up.
a book,
And
but
the idea, the or do you know already? Have you already informed yourself?
I informed myself about these evil spies that go up to the North Pole and tell Santa how naughty you were.
Yes,
Um,
yes. And the idea is that that the parents move them around every day, and it's like,
to
what the hell?
it does seem like it's pretty creepy, um, um, nightmarish, but so I now know what that is. Here, I thought it was just a stupid decoration, but now that it's actually um, a a thing. Uh, Sally posted something on her Instagram about an elf on a shelf, so I sent her that thing too. But she's having fun with. I don't know if you've seen her stuff recently with sort of
I
a
think
clown.
I looked. Yeah, I took a look, and it was the clown, and she had a passage of a Beckett play, I think, uh,
You
or a story,
yeah,
and on one of them, I really liked the ink drawing she did.
yeah. Well, she's like you, amazing to be able to um, go from photograph to pencil to ink to little still lifes that she photographs, sort of weird, uh, for lack of a better term, I'm just going to say dollhouse sort of still lifes, that
Right,
have
right.
they're little tiny objects or parts of objects that she places together in in sort of a theatrical set, like a playhouse is a theater. for a child.
Mhm.
You know, you move the baby from the basement and put it in the bathtub and put it back in the garage when it's done. You know, whatever.
These are
whatever.
all inappropriate places for a baby to be.
I never had a dollhouse.
Where is the baby? Oh, he's in the basement.
He's in the garage. He's in
What is he doing there? Well, I
I don't
hope
know.
he's fixing the engine.
I hope he's fixing that carburetor that we've got issues with.
If not, Jimmy's not getting his dinner tonight.
You know. Well, anyway, her work, those little still lifes with the low point of view, where you know her camera lens is on the table almost, so you everything seems more monumental. They sort of remind me of just a little tiny bit of de Chirico's sort of paintings, which also remind me of your chess set interiors, checkerboard interiors with your little figures. Are you there? Hello? I think you froze. Did you? Oh, you're moving now. I don't know if you said anything. Did you hear me? Uh-oh. Oh, Russell. Why don't we start you again here? Move from screen. I'll add you again. Russell, are you there? Hello. Hello. Is anyone there? Russell. Yoo-hoo. Hello.
Joe, I don't know what happened. There's
you're here.
There's two sections.
You're here
for-
twice. I get to see you in
Yeah,
stereo.
I
wonder if
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna see if I can remove the other one here.
Yeah, remove.
There we go.
There,
Now-
you've
now-
removed the false.
The
You
fake.
removed the false blank nothingness that once stood in place of my personality.
Yeah. So I was talking about that her work has that de Chirico-esque ishness with that sort of
Mhm.
cityscape waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
To it. And that sort of reminds me of some of your interiors as well. But in your interiors, things are happening. In de Chirico's,
Well,
they don't happen. They're not happening. They're about to happen. Uh-oh. You're frozen again. You're Russell, I don't know if you can hear me, but you're frozen again. I can hear little bits and pieces of a syllable, but I don't know. So try joining again, Russell, if you can. Maybe I'll start over as well. It might be something with a snafu here as well. Add to stream. Okay.
Okay, I'm on my cellular phone right now.
Okay.
I don't know what's up, but we'll see if this works any better.
Well, anyway, I don't know if my comparing some of your drawings to DeCurico is appropriate or not. And it's not working any better.
I think because
You're again,
how about
you're breaking.
now?
Okay, how about now? So far,
Yeah,
well, again, you're not moving.
working.
It's working vaguely. There, don't touch anything.
Okay.
Oh,
Am I
okay.
freezing
Well,
up at all?
you're freezing a little bit. I wonder if it's my connection. Maybe I could start over again.
I'm not certain.
Yeah. Well, was my mentioning of DeCurico with respect to your drawings at all appropriate?
No, I think it's pretty appropriate.
Okay.
I'm not so much for the graveyard drawings, but you remember the desert drawings,
Yeah, with the clock tower.
particularly
And
for those.
yeah.
Because DeCurico was very well, he was interested in, what he called la pittura metafisica, right? So
I'll
metaphysical
take your word for it.
pictures.
You have to translate
Yeah.
it for me.
So the idea is that, by looking at the object and concentrating on it, you can start to see beyond it.
Okay.
And so instead of the futurists wanted to destroy all limits, but DeCurico actually just sort of traps you within those limits,
Mhm.
and then you start to. It's like being trapped in a labyrinth, and you start to imagine what the world might be like outside of the labyrinth, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
It will when I
And
get
so the
another cup of
labyrinth
coffee
just
in me.
What's that?
It will when I get another cup of coffee in me, maybe.
Either that or a shot of alcohol. I don't know.
Yeah. I meant to start reading Cervantes when I was here, but the book that I have is I left at the lake, so I I still want to read that and illustrate it with you one day. Oh, you're frozen again.
I think it's the way that like the position of the computer or the phone.
Yeah.
I think it's that it needs to be closer to the Wi-Fi router or something.
Okay. I did find one of the books I have here that I will reread is, and just for lack of anything else to read, is Gulliver's Travels. So, by Swift.
That one's always a really fun one.
Yeah. Well, I read it before I knew it was supposed to be a metaphor for his time.
Yeah, metaphor for politics.
I read it, with a second grade mentality, which is how I often read things. I'm not very quick on the symbolism and things like that writers use.
Well, and I mean, it's even harder in that case because he's talking about like 19th century Britain.
Yeah, well, but it's still people in power and rich people, and some things don't change that much.
Yeah.
I almost grabbed, we have the Divine Comedy here as well, and it was a book that always sort of titillated me because the drawings were.
Oh yeah, they were by Gustave Doré, right?
No, these actually were done by, if you imagined Salvador Dali and Greco had a baby.
Oh.
These are what his drawings. Should I show you what the drawings look like?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I remember, as a small boy looking at these things and being mesmerized and frightened by them at the same time. And the artist did both color paintings and line drawings. Let me just get the book. So it'll take me 3 minutes, maybe
Yeah.
maybe 2. I think. Oh. So the artist's name is illustrated by Umberto Romano.
Roland.
1947. Umberto Romano. So the paintings, there's a little bit of Ivan Elbrecht in here instead, maybe.
There's a little bit of what now?
Ivan Elbrecht.
Ivan Albrecht?
Yeah. Isn't that his name? Ivan Elbrecht? Horror Vacui. He did the painting of Dorian Gray.
Oh, now I know who you're talking about for the movie, right?
Yeah. But also,
Okay,
he painted many other things.
Yeah, he painted other things, but that's what he's best known for.
But but every square inch is filled with dark
little
paint
things
and lots of little tiny details, fingerprints and cuticles and stuff. So anyway, here's one of the pictures, paintings, and the drawings are.
Ooh. They've got almost a sort of comic book feel to them.
Yeah, but elongated, a la De Chirico. El Greco, and
they sort of got like that Dali sort of fleshiness to them.
Yeah. Did I say Dali and De Chirico? Dali and
El Greco, I think.
And El Greco, yeah. There's something. Maybe Dali isn't right, but.
No, definitely seeing the painting, I think Dali would be a good comparison.
Yeah. But
Ooh. Yeah, that definitely reminds me of El Greco.
yeah. There's another book that my dad had, Poems on Death and Dying. That's it. And I think I put that in the box to donate, but I may have to, because that had a really nice cover that looked like it could have been done by the same artist, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look at it again. There's a lot of books that we have ready to be donated, and or auctioned off. I guess we already brought a bunch of books to be donated, but
I never can remember his name. Who was the artist who did the one thing where everything was like centered around that one line?
Steinberg.
Steinberg. I would like to see Steinberg illustrate Dante.
Oh, yeah.
I would have liked to have seen it. I presume Steinberg is no longer
He's
Steinberging.
he's no longer alive, and I think that would have been way too serious and depressing thing for him to have done.
It would have been what now?
Way too serious and depressing a thing for Steinberg to have illustrated.
Fair enough.
You know, even his drawings he did of World War II, he turned into comedic things. I mean, they were cartoons, but you know, he would draw a lot of airplanes dropping bombs, but he never really showed the dismemberment of the population below.
Right.
And I think that Dante, at least the interesting part of the Divine Comedy, the hell part, I mean, the other 2/3 are just, I'm sure that they're lovely, but not very interesting to read. I mean, just too. Yeah. I'm sorry, what?
I just said, I was just saying the next two notes.
Well, again, you're breaking up. The next two parts, something.
I said that, yes, the next two parts are lovely, but they're not as interesting as hell.
No. Yes. We want hell. Yeah, the levels of hell and the torments that they're all going through, I mean, those make you want to draw them, if not inflict them on other people. But you know, 24 hours a day of praising God Almighty and light and golden angels and shit like that, or whatever he has. I mean, how that gets dull pretty quick, I would think.
Probably so.
I mean, I don't know what
better to be entered in hell than a slave in heaven.
You know, let's pretend heaven to you is diving naked into a huge vat of whipped cream and eating your way out of it. Let's pretend that would get tired pretty quick.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, it depends on how much you like whipped cream.
I was only trying to pick something that I'm sure that's someone's idea of heaven.
Somebody, yeah. Somebody out there wants to dive into a giant vat of whipped cream
and eat their way out, and then take a little tiny nap, and then do it, rinse and repeat.
They'd have to rinse before taking the nap because they'd be pretty sticky after getting out of there.
But in heaven, I'm sure that the whipped cream is not sticky.
See,
it's nonstick Cool Whip they have up there.
Yes, it's not whipped cream, it's Cool Whip.
God.
Heaven only serves Cool Whip.
Yes.
And what is it? Miracle Whip too.
Miracle Whip. They squirt
No
some of it.
mayonnaise or whipped cream up here.
Yes. Oh God. So, at the Facemeyer household, are you a Christmas Eve gift open time, or do you do it Christmas Day?
So we open some of the presents on Christmas Eve and then the rest Christmas Day.
I see. We were always a Christmas Eve family. The lights on the tree sparkle more when it's nighttime.
Right.
The morning light, as lovely as I find it to be, is not
conducive to Christmas trees.
not conducive to Christmas trees. And also, a crackling fire happens at night, not in the morning, and it just seemed
the ambience.
the right way to do it, I guess.
Right.
Now, of course, capitalism would like you to celebrate Christmas every day from September 1st through February 9th.
I will not deny that.
So, just in time for whatever the next holiday would be after that. So, and we don't do shopping anymore for anyone else because we're too poor and we've got too much shit in our lives. But you've done your I saw some of the things you shop for. I won't mention what they are in case your family is watching this. But do you have more to do? More shopping or more wrapping?
Nope. I took care of it all. Did you manage to get anybody anything, or did you just say that you weren't?
I just said that
you're not a gift giving family.
We
right now
don't do it anymore. There was a time when, after my mother died, I think my father would give us chunks of money every year, which was always handy, and we would occasionally buy him something. But the gifts to each other we stopped doing after my mother died. And I even think before my mother died, I think, we all, buying things for so many people was difficult. And then we would buy them just for my niece and nephew because they were young, and it was sort of, Christmas is fun for kids, but buying something for my father or my mother was just difficult. And so
yeah,
I don't think anyone's buying anyone anything this year, but we are having a big Christmas Eve dinner at my little brother's house with his family, and then a Christmas Day dinner here with the same batch of people. And so Troy, my little brother, and my other brothers said, we are responsible for coming up with a couple of appetizers that we'll have on Christmas Day. We're meeting here, I guess, at noon for those sort of appetizer-y things, and then we'll play games and do stuff, and then at 5 we'll have dinner. So, and we're using all of the fancy plates that my mother would use. Oh, hi, Tasha. How are you? Tasha is in the room.
I can't remember whether I met Tasha before. I think
yes,
I have.
You have Tasha and Evie.
Yeah.
and they live in Arkansas,
Okay.
and they just got married, Tasha and Evie,
Oh
a
yes,
year
now
ago.
I recall.
A year ago, or something. I mean, probably more than a year ago. It's all a blur. All what happened yesterday is a blur.
Yes, a blur amongst the chaos of viral panic.
So, have you heard anything from Minnesota yet, or no?
No, not yet. Though one of my old professors from one of the schools I went to for my bachelor's, she actually is at a school in Minneapolis.
Oh,
And she sent a job a job application through SUNY Buffalo's service that was calling for an art instructor. So I went ahead and applied for that
oh,
too.
cool. And that's also in Minnesota, Minneapolis.
Be in Minneapolis,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
It would be like a 9-month position, but
At a
something to do
college.
at a college, yeah.
Oh, good. Well,
So we'll see
that,
how the doctorate thing works out. I'm gonna
well,
be
I mean,
to
either
others
one
in
of
the
those
meantime.
would be good, I think, for you. I think dealing with post-adolescent adults or post-pre-adolescent adults would be your cup of tea, I think. And but also getting a doctorate would be fine. And Tasha says married for 8 months, so coming up to a year.
Hopefully it's going smoothly.
I'm sure it is. Does Evie know how to drive yet, Tasha? Well, Minnesota, you'll have to learn if you come here to dress warmly.
Yeah.
You don't have the Gustafsonian layer of fat to help you.
No.
So warm is important, but I think that'll be good. What's the name of the school that you applied to?
I think it might actually be the same school, University of
Oh, okay.
Minneapolis.
Oh, University of Minnesota. Yeah, in
Oh,
Minneapolis.
yeah, University of Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah.
So, the worst that could happen is, well, if I go there, if somehow, for some stupid reason, everybody decides to be very unwise and I get accepted into the doctorate program and the temporary faculty position at the same time. That would be
Well,
good from a financial point of view, perhaps, but not for a
I was wondering whether doctoral students also teach.
I think generally they do teaching, though I don't know that that's a given.
Okay. Well, I mean, I would think that might be great for you because you at least for maybe a year, where you disappeared. A year, maybe I'll wait see if he comes back. Oh, here you are. Add to stream.
I pressed the wrong button. What you were saying.
I think that, for 1 year, if you were to work on the doctoral thing, and maybe didn't do as much art that time that you would be making art, you could be teaching. Maybe that would be fine. I mean, you are brilliant enough, you could do all three. while standing on your head,
I cannot stand on my head.
riding a bicycle, riding a unicycle, and playing the piano. I think you do have the ability to do a lot of things. I think the teaching thing, the problems that you had with there, just had to do with the hours that you had to spend teaching and then recording a YouTube video to teach to the the distance learners, and I think that was just too much time and repeating too many
And then
things and
and
becoming
with this last one, it was just being left to the wolves, basically.
yeah. So
That's
I think, I mean, the difference again between teaching people that have to be in school and people
and
that
teaching people who have elected to be in school.
choose to be in school. Now, colleges these days is almost a requirement
Yeah,
to actually
but they'll at least
spend 4 more years learning what you should have learned in high school. But
Yeah.
Generally, people that
Generally,
are taking,
they know that they're paying for it, so they'll at least sit down and shut up.
usually, yeah. Now we'll just stereotype the whole class. You will get the jocks that are there on a scholarship so they can play football for the University of Minnesota.
Yeah,
And they have to take
them because
they have to take a elective in the art department, so they're going to be causing the trouble. But chances are they don't care about the grade they get, so they might shut up.
Yeah, they don't care about the grade they get as long as they don't get kicked off the team for it.
As long as they don't get kicked off the team. Now, I'm not saying that all jocks that get scholarships to be able to play football are stupid and uninteresting.
Like
some of them are very talented and smart and interesting too.
Some of them that are,
but I don't think generally you will. I mean, you will get, because someone has in their wisdom, and I think it's a good idea, have insisted that people that are mathematicians and scientists and chemists and literature people and nursing school people and whatever, they have to take, a philosophy class and a language class, even though they're not interested in learning another language. You're going to get a lot of people that still have to take your class and they have no interest and no talent. But again, because they're paying for it themselves or for the rest of their lives with their student loans, they will more likely try a little bit. Where the high school students, they didn't care.
I've already dealt with that type of student when I was doing my graduate assistantship.
And you remember,
Buffalo,
also remember from being a student in college in drawing class.
Yeah.
You were good. 8 other people were pretty good. Some were not very good, and some didn't care. Yeah. How bad they were. They did not care how bad they were. But they did disrupt the class usually by throwing things and shooting people or laughing out loud or probably.
Yeah. Or one of my favorites was there's this one pair of young ladies at the school that I was teaching at just recently who would get up in the middle of class and just pose and do TikToks.
Oh,
just multiple times.
I think that is grounds for expulsion, right there.
I would love that to be the case, but the school would not let me do that. We have a
What?
very high graduation rate, but a very low rate of performance, if that says anything.
Yeah, yeah. They all graduate, but none of them get a job.
Yeah, they don't make the grades, but they graduate anyway.
I have a friend that is older than I am, if you can imagine such a thing. He might be 6 years older or something. And he's reluctantly on, well, not so reluctantly, on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. But he once posted, he said, "How long has TikTok been around and when will it go away?" I think if TikTok went away, the world would be a better place.
That's debatable, but I'm inclined to agree with you at this point.
I think I reluctantly joined TikTok and put a few things up, usually animated drawings that I would do or show how they were being made. And I was surprised that strangers hearted or liked or whatever they do some of the things I do, but maybe only one of the 100 people or 50 people or whatever bothered to go back and look at what I might have posted the day before. It's like only want the new, only the new, only the new,
Yeah,
and
I mean that's the way
it's
that TikTok is structured. It sort of
uh,
it prioritizes new things and sort of places things automatically in front of you rather than
yeah,
you getting to pause and think for a minute. Hey, do I want to go back and look at this other stuff that this person has done?
yeah. That's. I mean, Instagram. You see, if you click on your little picture there, you see 10, 12 other pictures you've done, and um, there anyone that has any amount of curiosity will scroll up and see another 12 and pick one or two to look at. But somehow TikTok, I didn't see that happening based on my the hearts or whatever that I got.
Yeah.
So it was frustrating. But the to me the annoying thing about it is um, all of the awful music that they throw on it automatically. And it took me a long time to figure out how to make it go away because you have to sort of it's a default that they throw music on it, and it took me a while to find the no music button. And
I did not know that. I didn't know that like even if the person there didn't insert music into their video, there's just music automatically.
well, it was a default, I think. And I finally realized where the button is. I don't have, well, I haven't posted anything in months there, but um, it made it was not easy to make it silent. Um, so I'm going to throw more coffee down my gullet. Don't go away. What are you working on today?
Nothing quite yet. I've just signed on and I can't really do much drawing now because I have to be away from the thing where I normally work.
Oh, because
Um,
of the router?
in order,
Because,
yeah, because of the connection.
okay.
But the I'm going to work on something today and then probably fill out some applications or at least one application for more PhD programs.
Oh, good, good. Well, I mean, I hope whatever you get accepted to, whether it be Minnesota or elsewhere, um, it's pick the one that you think is best. Um, your the topic that you've chosen is um, is one that I don't think. Well, not I don't read doctoral dissertations every day or ever, so I don't know if anyone else has been interested in that. But it does seem that you've picked something that would be interesting to research and to figure out how to make it go.
I think so.
You know. Anyway,
Mhm.
I'll be right back. Okay, I'll be right back.
Ah.
My cup almost runneth over.
Press the wrong button again. I was looking at
You
the
keep
chat
pressing
and I
that.
pressed.
You,
Yeah, I was looking at the chat and I pressed the back button, and that takes me away
I
from
see.
the StreamYard page.
So I haven't been doing much StreamYarding lately because of being here and dealing with jobs and various tasks in Boston. So I haven't spoken to a lot of the usual suspects. Ms. Marilyn and Effextinol and Schiavello and Friedrich. So I'm hoping maybe to do this time every morning is good for me because takes my brother a while to get his act together because of his arthritis. It just makes him have to slowly wake up, and so this is a good time for me to broadcast. I may figure out a setup where I can do some drawing, and maybe it would be fun to do drawing with you again live for a while.
Definitely.
Maybe I know that between now and Christmas, there's a lot of stuff that we have got to do to prepare. There are a lot of boxes that have to be brought to the recycling and trash to the dump and things like that, and things to clean and set up. So I don't know if I'll be able to draw, but I will be able to chat anyway in the morning. And it's good seeing you, and I'm sure that a lot of people have missed you as well, because we just haven't had the opportunity to chat live.
No, not recently.
Well,
I mean, especially
I
not
haven't.
since the situation.
Yeah,
Especially
and I
not
haven't
since the
been.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't been broadcasting so much either. So it's more my. Oh, here's my brother. You want to say hi to Russell? Look at that
Hello.
hair.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm not too bad.
Yeah. Almost Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry almost Christmas.
Whatever that means, right? Todd and
I
I
have no idea what it means.
watched a documentary last night called AlphaGo. Do you know
AlphaGo?
Do you know the Japanese or Chinese game called of Go?
Oh, Go, yeah.
Well, this is I love the game. I'm a poor player, but I love the look of it and the history of it and just the beauty of it. And the 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 documentary was about these AI game computer programmers coming up with a computer that can play Go and win against the world champion. And it's, I mean, I won't tell you who won, but the
Right.
idea was that this game would win. And most, computer chess people, they computer chess programs do not win against a human. A human master is still better because
Yeah.
of the creativity aspect of the human.
Your average program isn't able to process like, oh, there's actually, if you're interested in that, uh,
It's on YouTube as well, so you can watch it.
yeah, but if you're interested in that kind of thing, do you know Deep Blue, the computer?
I don't know that.
So it was a computer built specially to play chess.
Oh,
In
okay.
this case, sort of like the Go computer you're talking about, but
Mhm.
it was who is it? Not Mark Fisher. Somebody
Yeah.
who was the world champion who played against a computer and lost to it. Deep Blue was the computer that beat the
Okay.
world champion,
Okay.
and there's a
I think
there's
they
a
mentioned it. They
yeah.
mentioned it in the video, in the documentary.
But if you're interested in that kind of thing, there's actually a fellow called Frederick Knudsen, and he has like a 3 hour or something uh, video on the story of how Deep Blue was created and how they had to go through all of these different methods in order to try and beat a human player.
Okay. Interesting. It's the moral of last night's documentary about this thing, it seemed to be that the human players learned in a way how to be more human than,
Yeah,
because and when the program was playing moves that didn't make any sense to the programmers, to the Go experts, like why did the computer do this? Well, the computer had ideas of its own, evidently,
yeah,
to sort of throw the other player off, or uh, to to maybe trick the other player, the human player, and vice versa. The human player played a piece that, when he played a piece that didn't make any sense to anyone in the room, the humans and the computer didn't understand it.
yeah,
And it was a game that the human won because of this wacky move. And the computer, I think, had played a wacky move either in the next game or the previous game. But it was very interesting to see how cold and calculated both the computer and the human was. Except
yeah.
the computer is able to see, if I put a
It's
piece
able
here,
to,
it
yeah, it's
could,
able to visualize more moves than the human
yeah,
can.
millions more, than a human probably can. But I think you would find it fun, and it was neat seeing the computer team rooting in many cases for the human, uh, and like, we want you to win. So
We want you to
um,
win, even though
so
we've created this thing.
I think you might enjoy it. It's called AlphaGo,
Okay.
and it's on.
Send them a link.
And I can send you a link. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I have to get ready here. So we'll see you all later.
All right.
Tasha, nice seeing you, and anyone else in the room. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.